What's going on, everybody? All right, I know I said I was going to do the video today about the bug out and the finishing up video, but I wanted to do this unboxing video first because there's some things in here I want to compare to the size of this when I go over the final video. So today we're actually going to do a video of unboxing over $1,000 worth of knives. Some of these I've looked at, some of them I've really not, so it's going to kind of be new to me as well. But some of them I did get in, and these have been all brought in probably the last week and a half. The way I view YouTube is I view it as a business, and you have to sink money back into your business to make money. So I spent $1,000 on some knives to try to get this channel started and to get it going. And what we're going to do right now is just go ahead and start unboxing them. So first up, we have seen this. I do have a video up on this, but this did come in at the same time. It is the Benchmade Bugout. I did take the normal green Ranger scales off of it and put on these G10 scales. Now, we're not going to go over the specs. I actually have already went over the specs on this. This was my first review I've done. This will be the review that I end probably tomorrow. So if you want to see that, go back like one video and you should be able to see all the specs on this. This is just kind of show you what came in, what's coming to the channel, and what to expect. So first up is the Benchmade Bugout, and if you want to buy the Bugout with the Ranger scales, it is $144.50. And then if you want to buy the Flytanium scales, the G10, they're $39. You'll have $183.50 in a Bugout, which is a lot of money for a Bugout, but I do think this makes the perfect Bugout in my opinion. I love the gray blade along with the blue scales, and I just think that looks really, really good. So $183.50 for the Bugout. If you want to see the item number, there it is. Next, we have a Para 2. It is the Spyderco Para 2. It does come with a little pamphlet in there. Also, if you want to see the item number, right there it is. But I did get the blurple one. I think that's what they call it, blurple. I love the Para 2 because you can, spider flick it. That's my favorite. This is one of my favorite fidget knives. I've owned a ton of these, and I always seem to get rid of my Para 2s. And one of the reasons I bought the blurple one is because it is S110. I've never owned an S110 knife. I've heard they're a little hard to sharpen, but I thought, this being a little different, I might keep this one, especially since I have the channel now. I've actually thought about changing the scales. I had some scales on my wish list at Blade HQ, and they actually came in stock last night. I didn't order them. They're green micarta. I may go back and get those. I don't know. I may just leave this, the blurple, because I do have knives that I like carrying better than a Spyder 2 or a Para 2. But since I started the channel, I'm not going to get to carry knives more than about a week or two anyway. So I don't know if I'll change the scales on that or not. But that is pretty purple. I don't know where they get the blue at. It looks way more purple to me than it does blue. And if you want to buy the Spyderco S110 blurple, it's $185.50. You will pay more for the S110 still, but I just wanted to try it, so I splurged a little bit. All right, next we have the Spyderco Galil Bradley 2. This knife was a little bit expensive, and it just come in yesterday. This is one of the first times I'll be holding it. It does come with like a little silicone pack right there because this is CPM M4, which will rust, and it is very humid out here today, and I will probably have to oil this when I go back inside. I've always wanted a Galil Bradley 2 for years now, and they discontinued this knife a little while back, and they did a short run of these. So if you want one of these, find Blade HQ or somebody's got these in stock and buy them, because from my understanding, they are going to quit making these again. I've always loved this blade shape. It feels really good in the hand, and I have to say, it is butter smooth. It's got a nice heft to it. The liner, I felt better liners. This liner feels kind of thin, kind of digs into your hand. And for $171.50, I would think they would do a little bit, maybe thicker. I guess my problem is the liner is steel. And I think for $171.50, they could have done titanium liners. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know. But for that much money, there are people doing titanium stuff. But I love this knife. I've always loved this knife with the carbon fiber and the blade shape. So I did splurge a little bit and go ahead and get a Gale Bradley. Okay, next up will be the Kizer Mini Sheepdog. Ever since I seen the Mini Sheepdog years ago, or about, maybe not the Mini Sheepdog, but ever since I seen the Sheepdog, a year or two ago or something like that, I've always been interested in it, but I never did, bring myself to pull the trigger. You can see the humidity on this blade. How much humidity is out here. It's crazy. I'll have to oil all these and I'll go back in. But I want to say the Mini Sheepdog actually locks into your hand really well, the way they have this big, choil right here and the flipper sticks down. It really locks in your hand. So even though I can't get a full 4 finger on this knife, it feels really, really good. I did go with the blue accent. I really like that. Again, the liner is a little hard to get to, but you can still do it. I want to say this is a knife I have, fidgeted with a little bit. It did come in earlier. There is a little bit, I don't know if I can get this on camera. You can hear that. It does stick at the bottom. I'm hoping that kind of breaks in a little bit. But overall, I really like the Sheepdog, the Mini Sheepdog. And you can pick this up at Blade HQ for $69. Now, I'm not affiliated with Blade HQ or nothing. That's just where I've ordered a lot of knives from. And I will continue to order a lot of knives from Blade HQ. I just really like them. They seem to have pretty quick shipping. And all these but one did come from Blade HQ, because the only reason I didn't get one of these from Blade HQ is because they didn't have it in stock. Okay, next is the Savivi Elementum. It does have the green micarta and the S35V blade. Now, the cool thing about this is you've seen all these other knives come in boxes. Savivi went a little bit above and beyond. Now, this is kind of like the budget brand for WE, and they actually give you a case with it, a zip case. I thought that was nice. Not that I'll ever use the zip case. It does have a decal in there. And actually comes with a cloth to wipe down your blade, which other knives didn't come with that. But I just thought that was pretty cool that they went a little above and beyond and got that. Now, like I said, this does have the green micarta, and it does have the S35 blade. I am kind of a blade steel snob, I guess. You can actually buy these a lot cheaper if you go with D2 steel. But I decided to go with the S35. If you go with the S35, it's $81. I can't remember exactly how much the D2 was, but it is quite a bit cheaper than the $81. If I'm not mistaken, it's like 40 or 50 bucks. It's 30 or $40 cheaper than the S35. But I wanted a little bit better blade steel, so I did go with that. I do like this pocket clip, and you can actually get to the lock on this pretty easy. They did a pretty good job on setting the lock up on this, and I really like the green micarta. I don't know what it is here lately, but I've been on a big micarta fix. So I did go with the green micarta on this, and usually if I have an option for green micarta, I do go with it. Next is a knife that I have never handled, ever. It is the Ontario Rat 2. I hear a lot of people that just rave about this knife, and there's really no sticker or anything on this to show you a number. But I hear a lot of people rave about this knife, so I wanted to get one in hand, mainly for comparison issues. A lot of people use these for comparison. It is D2 steel. I did go with the carbon fiber version. It does flip out nice. The lockup, as you can see, is about halfway or a little more. That's a little concerning on a brand spanking new knife. I mean, this is the first time I've had it in my hand. It does flip out really well, though. The pocket clip is tip up, tip down, all that stuff. It fits in your hand pretty good. I really like this jimping on the back. It kind of angles back towards your thumb so it can really get locked in. Nice blade shape and everything. It feels good. It's a little heavy for a knife this size, but when you consider that it only costs $47.95 for the carbon fiber version, I guess you can't expect titanium liners. I do expect titanium liners in the Gale Bradley that I didn't get, but you don't expect it in a $50 knife. But overall, the knife feels pretty good, and I can see why people really like EDC in this. It's a small knife, and it probably just melts away in your pocket if I was guessing. But there again, $47.95. Now next is a knife that I actually got a shout out from Blade HQ on, because they didn't even realize how cheap this knife was. And I commented, this is probably the best knife under $30, and that is the QSP Penguin. Of course, you get your little card there. And of course, again, we do have the green micarta. This knife is butter smooth. I mean, I just can't tell you how smooth this knife is on camera. It's amazingly smooth. It's got D2 steel. I do believe this is probably the best knife under $30. Look how deep carry that pocket clip is. The lockup is way better than it is on the Rat 2. You got plenty of time to wear that in. This knife is amazing. And after I made that comment and they talked about it on there, this knife is now out of stock. It wasn't out of stock before that, but it's not been back in stock since that live stream or knife banner that they did and gave me that shout out in. That knife went pretty quick after everybody did that. And again, that is $29.66. Now, one of my favorite knives that I looked high and low for, and this is the one I did not get from Blade HQ, and I wanted the 4Max. I wanted the original, I wanted the big dog, and I just never could bring myself to pay $450 for a cold steel. Even with 20 CV, I just couldn't bring myself to do it. But now they've discontinued this knife. And if you go on eBay and stuff, they're still around $350 or so. But Botox Tactical has these things on sale. From what I understand, it looked like they had a lot of them for $239.98. For $239, I was like, I'm in. Now, the thing about this is I could not push this out. I have looked at this knife. I literally had to rip this end off to get this knife out. But I want to show you all. This thing is a beast. Oh my gosh. Let's tuck this underneath there. The wind's blowing. Well, just listen to this. That's nuts. That triad lock. Look how big that triad lock is. This thing is amazing. Let's do it shut. Thud. I mean, that's a big, huge chunk of 20 CV. It's actually hard to flip open because it's such a long stroke to get it open. It does have the G10 scales. It is the 20 CV, CPM 20 CV, and this one is made in Italy. Now, they had some of these that were made in the US, and the difference from what I've seen is it has a different color scale on it, and a lot of people dye those scales because they don't like the color of the USA made versions. And I've heard, you know, I've never handled a USA made version one, but I've heard that the fit and finish on the Italian versions are better than the US versions. And I've seen 2 or 3 videos where people talk about that. The jimping isn't even on them. It's like it's not straight or parallel, or it's not all the way through or something. I do want to say this knife feels amazing in the hand. It is like 10.1 ounces, so it's not a light knife by any means. The pocket clip is nowhere near deep carry, but this thing is a workhorse. It seems like cold steel set like 600 pounds on the back of this knife, and it still held it up. I mean, it's crazy. This thing is, it's massive. Let's see here. Just for a size comparison real quick. This wasn't supposed to be a size comparison video, but just, I want to show you the sheer, mass of this knife. Most people know what a Spyderco Para military is and how big it is. Let's line this up to the back. So if we line it up, let's see, that's touching that scale, that's touching it. Look how much bigger the 4Max is than that Spyderco. And the Spyderco is nowhere near a small knife. I mean, you can get a full hand, a full grip on this with grip sticking out the back, and it's still that much smaller. Amazing. This is one of my favorite knives I got in. I love large folding knives. I love carrying large folding knives. I carry a Strider SMF a lot, and could not wait to get that in. But there it is. All of these knives combined equal $1,008.09. I do have another one coming. It's a Giant Mouse Ace Biblio. Love the design of that. I've had to send 2 of them back. They just weren't smooth. They wouldn't flip. And so I had to send them back. But that's what over $1,000 worth of knives look like. That's what I've got to start the channel with. I've got stuff I've owned for years, but this is the new stuff that I just got in, and I'm pretty excited to get this stuff tested. So there it is. That's what's coming. I hope y'all are looking forward to seeing what I think about these. And I appreciate y'all watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.